I'm one of the strongest men to ever walk the earth.
I love Caesar salad.
Welcome to episode 2 of the Husky Boys. My name's Ian. That's Robert. We're two young men that were husky, and now we're just anorexic. How you
On
doing,
our
buddy?
way, in our dreams. Hey, speaking of being husky, this is so random. I totally wanted to talk about this and then forgot until this moment. Do we have to celebrate people who take Ozempic? Like, do we have to keep being like, "Oh, you're so brave," when they're just taking a drug to lose the weight now? Like we cheer everything on.
Funny
They
we
get a
should
participation
speak
trophy.
about this. Funny we should speak about this.
Are you on Ozempic?
No, I'm thinking about it though.
Okay.
I'm thinking about going to get a needle, honestly,
Okay.
and I'll tell you why.
I will not celebrate you. I will be stoked on your loss, but I'm not gonna like, oh, you've committed.
I
to it.
don't. No, it's not. I don't think you should celebrate. I really don't think it's like, oh my God, you're just fantastic. Yeah,
Right. It's like, hey, congrats. That's awesome. You probably feel great. That's good.
Right. Oh, you realize you need it.
It's not like the guy who starved himself the old school way and went from being a big dude to like, I walk and run every day. No, it's like,
Yeah, it's like it's not like Jared. You can't celebrate a big guy that lost a bunch of weight and then molested people. You can't celebrate him.
you went straight to Jared.
You know, it's funny. They never mentioned whether he was a molester when he was a fatty or when he was a skinny.
Well, once you get the big M tatted on you, I think that means your whole life you were at least kind of creepy. You know?
Well, yeah, but it just so actually he didn't need to walk to Subway, he just needed to walk to the neighbors.
Yeah, creepy.
But
I don't even remember I don't know if it was like a physical thing or he had stuff on his laptop or whatever, but like
just a weird after it all came out, you're just like, oof, that's just
I know.
Oof, yeah, it was all great. But back to the Ozempic or by the shot, the fatty shot.
I say it because like I love Jelly Roll. Like I talked to him a little bit. He seems like a really sweet guy. I love him, but like literally 100 shows out there, like there's a podcast, TV, whatever, YouTube stations. They all talk about like praising his stuff. Like they're like, he lost so much weight. It's the greatest thing. It's like he really committed to being a different person. And he's like giving inspirational speeches about it. Like he's doing his thing that he always does, you know, like I used to be this big but
I think he's at the point where it doesn't matter where he's come from. It doesn't matter what he does. He's celebrated, right? Like
I get that.
I honestly, I didn't know that he was on it. I thought he was just hanging out with Bert and Tom. But I honestly, I think the whole deal is it's just you get to a point where you're just like, I can't like. I'm spun out of control, and there's this magic shot, and I'm gonna call it a magic shot that gets you off that highway,
Yeah.
right? And that's all I'm looking for because I just can't get started because I can't do it. Like I'm a fatty, I'm a fat kid, so
Yeah.
it doesn't matter how many times I lose weight. I'm gonna go into the weeds, right? And with the things that I've had happen in my life this year. I know this is what spun me into the weeds hard, and I need something that's just kind of like a tow truck to pull me out. That's all it is.
Yeah.
But I don't think, I don't think it should be either way. I don't think you should be scolded, and I don't think you should be celebrated.
Yeah. I don't think I scolded either for sure. I totally get that. It's especially, it depends on the person, you know, I think, like whenever you see a bigger guy doing it, like Jelly Roll, since we're talking about him, it's like, yeah, obviously that's awesome. Like I'm sure the side effects that we're figuring out, like they're not going to be great, but like he's probably not going to live a lot longer, you know? Like it's like It's not. It doesn't. To me, there doesn't seem like any risk at all
It's one
for
of
some
10,
people.
one of this and 10 of this. Yeah, yeah. It's just
But
I don't know. I'm actually going to the doctor tomorrow and talking to him about it because I'm curious. I'm just struggling, right? So that's my thing. I'm struggling.
I bet
And
you
we've
have low tests too.
what's that?
I bet you have low tests too.
Really? Do you think that might just might change it a little bit?
Well, low test makes you hold on to fat and like a bunch of other stuff. I'm not gonna bro science you,
Bro,
but
science me. Bro, science me.
bro
Uh,
science, yeah. But yeah, like after you get like I don't know if it's like between 38 and 42 or whatever, it's like some giant percentage of men have low testosterone to the point where like they keep lowering the average every 5 years. It's like the average used to be up here, and now the average is like the like that you take TRT to get on is down
uh-huh.
here. So you know,
And how do you get testosterone? Just out of curiosity, how do you get
you talk to your doctor. Almost everyone just goes to their doctor. You can go through a clinic like that does that specifically, but your doc that you're going to talk to about liposuction or whatever, that doc, you can tell them.
your smile was, I'm gonna get my tits done.
I didn't know if you were going to catch that I was joking or if I thought like I wanted to show
I,
you my
I,
smile.
I couldn't catch you because your eyes just grew.
Well, I just wanted you to know that I wasn't seriously thinking you were getting lipo. But yeah, you
I
go in
could care
and
less.
he just draw a little blood, and you want that done anyways, so you can find out. Most people are really low on vitamin D. Like it's very very common to be
I take a
really
vitamin
low.
D.
Nice, nice. So like it's like stuff like that, or like they test your red blood cell count, your white blood cell count, and all that, just so you know. And then you also find out like, oh, your body's fighting something off or not or whatever. Like it's basically like a checkup of your blood, an oil check.
I just want to I just need to get to where I'm not comfortable right now. Right. So that's where I'm at. And I'm just like I'm struggling with and I need out of this. And it just I seem to be on a wheel, a
Yeah.
mouse wheel or a rat wheel. So I'll figure it out. But now that you brought up that tea, maybe I'll get that
You should
tea
get it
checked.
checked because at least like in best case scenario, like if you're doing one of those two things, like either an Ozempic or an offshoot of it, or test. So like Ozempic, you're right now. It's looking like you don't want to be on it for a super long time. It's
Right.
got some bone stuff and other stuff that people are a little worried about. So like there's other stuff you can do to mitigate it, but the reason you're getting Ozempic is because you don't do the other stuff, like the working out stuff. But like if you do switch to TRT, um, instead of like you basically you're it's not something you're gonna go on and then jump off. You'll probably take TRT, for life. Like it's gonna change
Does
your
does
level.
that TRT does that curb your appetite?
You can take there's a million. I'm not a peptide guy. I don't take a lot of different things. I'm very plain. I go to the doc, I get my blood drawn, I take TRT, and that's that. Like I don't do I
Nothing
take
but horse tranquilizers.
yeah, horse tranquilizers and amoxicillin. I do there's like an estrogen check pill or whatever that I do, stuff like that. But it's very minimalist, low, normal, bottom shelf stuff. And
And by the way,
that's pretty easy.
to anybody that's listening, we're not doctors. We're talking about two guys just discussing these things. Don't think
Well,
we're
I am a
he's got
doctor
he's a doctor
in
of
Iran. I am medically
oh,
medically certified to practice
that's
surgery and
funny.
other foot related
Good
medical stuff.
and good luck finding my records.
Yeah. Go find out. Go to Iran and tell me I'm not.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
So I just want to put it out there that we're not saying what you should do. You should go to your doc. You should make a plan.
Basically
You
what
sh
I'm telling you too. I think you
yeah.
should just get your blood checked and they'll tell you. And you might have sometimes people come back to me with the funniest shit. A lot of depending on who your doctor is, your doctor could know everything about one thing and nothing about another, a lot about these and that. Every doctor, everyone's convinced is their doctor's the most brilliant guy. I asked the doctor 10 different questions, one about tests, one about food, one about something you come up with, and then one about like any random thing. And they will not know some things. Like there's no doctor out
Yeah.
there that's like got it all. So
That's why
a
those
lot of people will get their blood done and they'll come back and they'll be like, oh, my doc says I'm normal. I'm at 300. And I'm sure most people don't know, 300 is like insanely low. What you want, like my average I'm shooting for, I'm a little selfish, so I'm going for like a 19 to 24-year-olds testosterone, and I'm trying to shoot for between 650 and like 850. That's the number range you shoot. Like guys who compete the upper echelon of strength athletics and stuff, they're at least double that a lot of times. So
that's yeah. Okay. So yeah.
so
Okay.
I'm saying I do the normal like dad version of I just want to feel good in the morning type. You know, like there's levels and there's craziness and then there's accessories always.
Nice. We didn't think we were going to go this route today. We didn't have this on the schedule. We had
No,
on
I
the
didn't. We
we
talked
had,
about jelly rolls. Dang it!
I love it. You got all mad at Ozempic heroes, and I'm just
I'm
like,
not
hey,
even mad at them. I just don't think it's like a participation trophy for me. Like I don't believe in that
that's
shit. I don't
really funny.
like I feel like I mean I'm definitely not scorned. There's no reason to scorn
Let's
somebody. I
okay.
mean,
What do you think Tom's on?
Tom, you mean Tom
Segura.
Segura? He's got to be on TRT at least. But like, there's a lot of peptides out there that do a lot of things. I don't know. I don't listen to that show that often. I'm sorry, but like,
No. But sorry, no, I don't listen to it all. As a guy, as a friend of his, I've seen him go probably from where I am right now to being very, very like fit and I don't know,
most of
not
that stuff though he did. So like, Ozempic came out whenever it did. But Tom, if you look before Ozempic, he had already done a lot of that stuff, and he's consistent now. So I don't know. His face didn't do the Ozempic shift. I don't know. I wouldn't guess that Tom's on like a diet thing. I would think he's on a like because there are peptides that act similar. They curb your appetite. There's peptides. They got peptides that do everything. There's a million peptides. But I wouldn't be surprised if he was on a peptide that was pretty much Ozempic adjacent. You know what I mean? But
that's
like
funny.
you know, I don't know. I think the one thing I remember about them talking about it when I heard it was them saying that he wasn't. So he's either saying he's not or he's not. He's on a peptide or something else different.
He's on it. He says he wasn't on it, but he's on a non-name brand.
Yeah, it's sort of, I guess, sort of similar to that. I don't know. The thing is about Ozempic is it's like it's not so peptides. You have all these different like
The
sources and all these different.
peptides, do you have to get a prescription for?
Well, technically, nothing you need a prescription for. Like, I mean, but
Don't get us taken off the air.
most people, most people go through a doctor. You should. It's like when I was a kid, that wasn't around. It was like weed. Like I remember in high school, the crazy adventures you had to go on just to get a dime bag or a twomp. You know, in
Yeah.
California, we call 20 sacks twomps. But anyway,
Twomps.
a twomp sack, or like a half eighth or whatever. So like,
Sounds like
I
the guy with the
remember,
hair lip calling you a twat.
yeah.
Twomp.
That's more English. Yeah.
Twomp.
So no, for me, I I think it's so easy to go through a doc now. Like
You go through
it's
a
almost
doctor.
ridiculous not to. You have to kind of be an asshole.
There's a reason they say check with your doctor before you start everything. You just because just in case there's something else that might get affected,
Yeah,
right?
and a lot of people out there should check their doctor. Like,
Yeah. Do some little research on your doctor. I'm actually going to a new doctor. I put it out on there. I said, hey, I'm looking for a doctor. One guy gave me he gave me this group in Irvine that I was really interested in. Like, but it's in Irvine. I want a doctor close to me. I hate
Ooh, like a cult,
travel. What's that?
like a cult,
No, it's like they do all sorts of different like they
magic.
do yeah, they do magic but they do the concierge, and
Oh, nice.
they do the they just have a group of doctors. You don't go to see one doctor, you go to a group of doctors kind of thing. I do
They
go
do
to
that to kind of like resist the way that insurance companies own our medical system in America. That's just the way that it works. Unfortunately, like
well,
eh,
everything starts out as good, and then it gets people involved, and the greed takes over, and
we've had
then
so long in the last 200 years for rich people to just finagle their way into everything.
yeah, yeah.
It's pretty dirty, but I was gonna
I
say
see.
like
I
doctors. I don't want to lose doctors because I one second
okay,
one
lose.
second. I used to do so. My brother's a doctor, graduated from Stanford. He's the man. I go to him on everything because like
Well,
he
that's
cares
easy.
about me. So like it's different than like I don't ever really know if my doc is like looking at me as money or like another patient or like an insurance claim or as a person. So like I do it. He's in California still, so I don't use him as my normal doc, but I do talk to him about everything. But I used to work security in college for a doctor outside of Fresno, and I'm not going to
Dr.
say his name.
Feelgood.
Exactly. So I used to get paid tons of cash, tons of money to sit in a parking lot while I was like at my biggest training cycle. I was big, buffed. I had a mohawk. I was mean looking, and I would sit in a parking lot and eat sandwiches. And he was like a Dr. Feelgood. He gave out like prescriptions for weed and
Right,
pills. He was a
right.
pill mill. And like all day, like once a day, I'd tell some stoner, hey, you can't smoke in the parking lot. That was it. Like the whole job was that I'd sit there and watch YouTube and get paid so much money. And then one day the feds came and kicked his door down, raided the place. He had been the ungodly amounts of pills just filtered out of this guy's place. And he had like 4 or 5 giant garages built for all of his old $1 million cars that he had been, collecting money off selling. Like, I think most of it was opioids and stuff. Just for like,
Opioids,
oh yeah,
people there's an addiction to the opioid, and there's the addiction to the money that made from opioid, right?
both
So
sides.
yeah,
It's
so
crazy.
and the addiction, yeah, it's and they're still out there. They're that's what's crazy about it. We're like, oh, it's bad. Okay, we'll still sell
Yeah,
them. Can you imagine?
and so like they had all these rules back then like that are less rules. So like doctors who prescribed the most name your brand would get literal, not like
Kickbacks.
hidden kickbacks like that there are now, but back then it would be like there'd be a big poster with a cruise ship and $10,000 cash and like another vacation, and on that poster it's like showing you which pills to prescribe. And you're gonna get to go on this trip if you're in the top percentage of prescribers, and that's in a doctor's office. Like
Yeah.
that's again, we used to be that blatant. My brother, when I was a kid, like I used to go be in the back rooms of all these places, and he used to make me look at gross shit all the time. It was fucking
That's
awful.
funny.
But
Is
you
your
would
brother
see,
older? Is he older than
yeah,
you?
he's my oldest brother's. We did this the other day. I talked to him. He's like I can't remember 64 or something like that.
Huh.
So he was 19. No, he is 59. He's 59. He's 19
Nice.
years older than me.
I love the math. I love the math. That was great.
I had to double check in my head. Like he was, yeah. So he's 59. He's older, and he graduated Stanford when
Where's
I
he
was
out of?
still little.
Where does he out of?
A small town outside of Fresno, Hanford.
Nah,
Yeah,
nah.
yeah,
I need to know.
in the valley.
I want to find. I'm going to see this doctor. We'll see how it goes. Somebody suggested, so I'll go see how it goes. But I just want to get my yearly my checkup, my yearly get because I'm at the age where the prostate it sometimes goes into the weeds, and I want to get back to feeling comfortable. And I'm not gonna lie. I have pictures taken of me all the time, and I'm walking. I want to be able to look at a picture without my head just,
Feeling bad.
yeah, just throwing my neck back, trying not to look at the photo.
Yeah.
So yeah, so
Well,
that's
luckily,
that's
you're not in a bad position. Like, you don't look bad. You know, I understand we all judge ourselves accordingly, and we're our toughest critics. But you know, it's
yeah.
good. This is the time to do it. Like, this is the chance. This is your moment. You have the motivation inside you. Just do it. Don't
Yeah.
like even just don't even worry about like making yourself feel better about it. Let yourself feel like shit, and let that sit there, and that takes your next step forward. So it's not. It's a good thing. Who cares how old you are, how much you weigh? Anybody who's uncomfortable with whatever part that they don't like, be cool with that. Be fine with being uncomfortable with it, and make that move you forward. You know, with
This
you
is the
also
podcast.
take a lot of silly doctors don't do this, but get what's called a comprehensive blood test. So
Yes.
everyone does the prostate check, but you can screen for all cancers with just blood, and you can take the finger if you want it too. It could be a good time.
They can take. I have a friend out of Florida who they've got a couple clinics, and they do the scans, and I do them every so often. Just get the heart checked and the blood vessels,
Nice. Yeah.
and yeah, we'll have to get them as a sponsor of this. That's what we'll have to do.
That'd be cool.
I'll call
I've
up
done the
Alan May and
scans too myself, actually. Whenever you have a big competition, they do them.
You know what's great about them is you're just like, you're fine until as you're walking in the building, you're like, holy fuck, I'm gonna die.
Yeah. And then your heart rate's 220, and you're like, oh.
Why is your blood pressure so high? I don't know, because I'm terrified.
Yeah, exactly. I've been poked and prodded so much over the last decade that I've kind of got used to it. I used to have a really big issue. I still kind of have an issue with drawing blood. I had a weird childhood. And so like this veins going, blood needles right here messes me up a lot. And
I love it.
And like finally I'm at the point now where like I'm pretty chill. Like I get messed with. I haven't done the finger yet. I mean, I'm waiting to find a doctor I really like.
But I was doing that, and so I had a doctor that I loved for years. She retired and moved away. So they put me with somebody else. It took me a while to like this person. I finally liked her, and then they wouldn't give her partnership, so she left, and she left. She moved to another clinic further away from me, and I'm just like, I'm not going all the way to LA for a doctor, Like I need a doctor close, so that's why I'm changing that. But I want to put this out there. This is our second episode. We're talking about this. We're gonna have guests at some point. I want you guys to say, hey, what we want to see this on this podcast. I want you to send us Emmy, put an email or a text that they can send us a text. I want to see this on the Husky Boys. I want to talk about this. We talk about the things that we like, but we also want to talk about the things that you like. Robert's a tinfoil hat guy. I'm straight and narrow.
Yeah, that's why we'll talk about what we said last week. I'm glad you brought it up that way too. That's perfect, because you had me go on a Russiagate hoax chance. Like I listened to Rachel Maddow for like 6 fucking hours this week for you.
Did you listen to the episodes?
Of course I did, man.
And what did you think?
I think you're ridiculous. So hold on.
Hold on. Did you listen to Rachel Maddow or did you listen to Ultra?
I listened to both. I listened to Ultra 4 episodes, and then I listened to Rachel Maddow.
Don't listen to Rachel Maddow.
Of course, there's no way of like talking about this without getting more political than I thought we'd ever get on this show.
No, we're not political. I'm just saying. Listen. Don't listen to opinion. Like, I'm not saying
no.
When I say, hold on, Robert. Hold on.
Go ahead.
When I say don't listen to opinion, I mean that like her. I mean Fox. I mean all these things. We don't separate news from opinion anymore.
Well, you're talking about history, news, and opinion. All 3 of those things.
No, but history has to have facts to it. Like, it has to have facts to it.
And I like the history part of it. It was great.
But opinion doesn't have to have facts to it.
I
That's
get
the
you.
problem, right? So when I don't listen to Rachel Maddow, but I listen to that podcast and that podcast show, right? And it's when I say show, it's a history show, and they go through time events, right? And I was interested in that because there's things I had no clue about. I'm like, I had no idea that happened in
Who's
America.
the guy who does he talks like this and he got in trouble because he said Sandy Hook was a lie?
Oh, what's his name?
Come on, Alex
Alex
Jones.
Trebek. Alex Jones.
Is that his name? Okay,
Yeah.
boom. So imagine Alex Jones had a history podcast. And in his podcast, he told the truth. He had facts in there, but every few minutes, he made sure that this part of history that he was telling tied in to a lot of other shit that he says that's wild as fuck on other stuff. And that's the way it felt like. That's what it felt like listening to her history. She was like talking about some stuff that was, I don't know how long ago you listened to it, but McCarthyism and stuff like that. I grew up my whole life. I'm 40 years old. I've lived in America my whole life. And there's like a small, tiny percentage of people that see no difference, blue no matter who. Like Kamala is the same as JFK. And then there's on the other side, there's people who think red till you're dead, and that Bush is the same as Trump. And then there's the giant middle that looks at
Purple.
this and every time a president says we're not going to war, that president wins in my lifetime. Every time. That doesn't happen ever. So most people sit in the middle and realize that we're just watching pro wrestling and it's all bullshit. Most people. The people that like really stick to telling somebody there you're a right winger because you listen to Rogan, or you're a fucking libtard because you voted for Kamala, whatever. Those people, they're their own brand of whatever. But
absolutely,
in the middle, having been here for 40 years and listen, I'll give it to you right back. Having listened to it for that long, being around rhetoric and being here, caring very much about Obama winning, and then seeing everything after it, caring very much about even the Clintons when I was younger. So like, I've heard all these things my whole life for so long to now be on the side of I'm right wing, who believes in the right to choose, who believes in freedom, who wants healthcare. Like, I'm so right wing now, which is insane. It's a way for people to label people and make it easier for them to deal with the argument. But listening to her version of history is great. If you lived under a rock for the last 40 years, it's awesome to learn like how fucked up the MacArthur story in itself is crazy. There's a lot of back and forth in this country. Like it used to be really, really separate sides. Like it really used to be like Martin Luther King and the KKK. It used to be like that. And now we like to play parade and pretend that it's that way. We love making ourselves feel like it's that. But really what it is there's globalists, there's billionaires, and then there's all of us in the middle that keep arguing about the same shit like the same things on the ballot since the 60s. You know?
Absolutely. Well, you're absolutely right. And the funny part is that when you talk about the right at a certain point is now left, right? Like if you watch them talk about immigration, where the right is now is where the left was.
Right. There's videos of Hillary Clinton talking about sounding super MAGA, saying, if you came here illegally, then you got to learn English or you got to go home and all this stuff. Well, and that's literally Hillary Clinton when I was a child.
I did go to the parade.
The parade? You were the one guy there?
No. I went to the other one, the No Kings. I went to the No Kings.
Oh, No Kings.
In nice. In Philadelphia, I went for a walk.
Very exciting.
I went for a bunch of other people, and somebody said Somebody said, "What did you have on your sign?" I said, "Ian Bagg, Punchline, 2 shows tonight, 7:30 and 10." But
That's hilarious. Did you really do that?
no, but that would have been great if I
Oh
had it.
man, that would be funny. What you could do is just pay somebody a couple bucks to do that.
Yeah, I could have. I was, but it
There
was.
at the No Kings protest, the guy's chucking bricks, and then next to him, some kid, Ian Bagg, come to the
Yeah.
Compliments Club.
We're gonna. I don't know how we're gonna edit this, but we got.
You should have listened to Story Wars, and we could have talked about that.
We were busy talking about testosterone, and then you got fucking 650T, and then next thing I know, you started yelling.
My teeth still low. I've been trying to get it up for months, and like,
what's it at right now? What's yours?
It was funny as you said 650. I think that's right where it's at.
How often do you check your blood?
Every other month, about.
Yeah. And do you just go into like one of those clinics and just take
Yeah,
it?
I work with my doctor offered to do testosterone for me.
We need to talk political off this podcast. Let's just do that. Let's pick it up from here.
All right. I get my blood done pretty regularly just because I'm so big and stuff. That's why I do the heart scans and stuff still. But like, I'm always trying to make sure I take enough vitamin D and stuff like that too because of it. And I switched to fish oils because my red blood count was high or something like that, or my white blood count was low or something. But I'm always in my bloods.
I take the D, but I'm bad with it. I take it. Oh, I'll take it here. I'll take it there. You know what I mean? So I got to take it every day.
Daniel Bolelli puts out a great history podcast. He's got a thick accent, so sometimes it's hard. But he did the last two he did. One was on slavery, and like it really goes through and explains like the uniqueness of American slavery versus like other places and stuff. And it was really cool. Like everyone argues about that, but like it's really important for people to understand how different it was in America versus like, everywhere else or slavery today and stuff. It's really cool history podcast to listen to if you ever I think it's Danielle, but it's Daniele Bolelli.
Hold on. Okay. I have to bring up everybody getting mad at Tesla because Elon's
Are they still mad at him now?
But the funny part is Henry Ford was a complete Nazi. We're still driving Fords.
Yeah. He sent tanks to Germany.
Yeah.
Or like Bayer, have you so these redacted tests and stuff finally got released that were way back in the day. And I'm just in case I get in trouble, I'm gonna say allegedly, but I'm pretty sure they're verified, confirmed. But it's almost hard to talk about. I don't think we got to talk about this shit. Bayer did some terrible stuff. Bayer aspirin, Bayer the pill.
Yeah.
They allegedly were very terrible people, and they would ask the Germans to send Jews so they could test the stuff on them. And then they like had this letter of Bayer responding back to the Germans being like, well, thank you for this last batch. They died rather quickly, so we could use another, but we really appreciate it. Shit like that. It's like our whole
terrible.
Everyone was so gross. Go to Argentina right now and tell me it's not like everyone living well.
But Argentina, the darkest hair, blue-eyed girls you'll ever meet. There's a bunch of gorgeous I gotta listen to your.
Let's talk about armor. Let's do something. Let's give ourselves a clip of non-political shit.
Yeah, we could call this episode fucking ditch.
I knew it was gonna go this way too, and it always like. There's so many people who want to pretend that people aren't in the middle, but we are. Like I am. It almost like irks me to feel like right wing. Like, bro, I surfed and skated in Santa Cruz.
You do know when I call you tinfoil hat and
tinfoil hat's better than right wing.
but Nazi and right wing and all those things that I'm just kidding. Like I wouldn't be doing this podcast with you if I felt you were like I don't like if I feel like you're too far deep or too far, not a good person. I just cut you out of my life. Like people are like, why would you talk to somebody like that? I'm like, because when I'm like joking with them, like, why do you talk to people like that? Because I like them. You know what I do to people I don't like? I fucking stop talking to them.
Yeah, for sure.
I pretend they don't exist. That's what I do
Yeah,
with people that I don't like.
it's too
So
easy. Like
yeah,
nowadays, just go somebody.
yeah.
Yeah. I looked
I
you
just
up. I looked up your birthplace and your, date of birth, all that stuff, your little Wikipedia page and everything, and your cute little kid photo you got on there. What?
I didn't do anything to I'm curious to see what good it is because I haven't done anything to my Wikipedia.
It
Me
was
and my
it
me and
was
my
a
wife
I think
Henry.
it was Victory or Liberty. What was it?
What?
Where you were born?
No, I was born in Terrace, British Columbia.
Harris? Oh, I thought it was that Victory or Liberty, British Columbia.
They had me living in Washington, being born in Washington State for a while. They had like somebody goes in there.
Has anybody ever gone on there and been a dick?
I'm sure they have, but I don't even look at it. So I'm sure somebody else goes on and changes it. Like,
For
everybody can
sure.
change it. So I can't keep up with people being like now I don't even respond. If I just block you. Like I'm not if you want to play, I want to play, but I'm not here to argue. That's because I
Yeah.
got too low of tea.
I don't want to argue anymore.
I just want to lie down.
Somebody give me a milkshake and a shot.
That's so funny. Yeah,
So
I just
if you decide to start doing whatever Ozempic or shoot off or whatever thing, are you gonna try and commit to doing something along with it, like walking more or lightweight?
well, I do honestly exercise a lot.
Oh yeah, you said that.
I go to the gym for an hour a
You
day.
got a low T, bro. If you're going to the gym and you're not happy with how you've been, you go all the time. I remember us talking about it now. Like it all
Yeah.
came back. Yeah, you get your T checked.
And when you go onto that T, is it for good or is it
You
for
don't have to. You can also do what's called HCG, and now not HCG.
I don't want to get Joe Rogan head.
That's HGH,
Oh, okay.
human growth hormone.
Allegedly.
No, it's not that. But HCG is what they give to people who are trying to have a baby that are having issues. It ups production of spermicide in the
Oh my
male.
God.
So you'll give it to your wife and she'll kiss you and it'll come out. Anyways, I don't know. So, there are people that put on a lotion and like literally can't touch their wives like because they'll get testosterone. Anyways, but HCG just makes you produce your own natural more. It's not a synthetic. And most guys
You know what?
like
You know what's funny talking about this? I think my dad had to have testosterone. So I'm sure it's passed on through, right?
for sure.
Fucking fuck. Gary
It's
gets me
also not
again.
a big deal. It's super like I hate shots. And so like I used to treat it like it was a big freaking deal. Now it's like my girl puts it in back here. I just sit there and ignore it like it's not a thing. And you literally feel like remember when you were 19 and you woke up in the morning and you're like, oh, let's get this going, like let's do a thing.
Really, huh?
You feel way better. You feel so much more alert, awake, like your fog is less. We're getting old, man, and it's just this stuff, especially if you're not against doing like I got gray in here. Can you see?
Some grays.
If you're not against doing like an Ozempic or something like that, I think this route. I mean, again, we're not doctors. But I think this route, at least talking to your doctor about it, is for sure going to be beneficial. And I mean, I don't know. We went super political, so maybe we should go grotesque and talk about morning wood and stuff. Like, are we just gonna just shit all over this episode right now?
This is the way this podcast is going to be. We're going to have guests sometimes. We're going to talk about things that may be uncomfortable to some people. We're going to talk about things that will be very comfortable to people. We're going to talk about our careers, and we're going to talk, which we haven't discussed yesterday, but yet this episode. And I got to know, there's a video of you playing violin.
Yeah,
Can you play violin?
very little. Also, I did want to finish that too. Like, I like these kind of conversations because I like you too. Like we talked, I'm not trying
Right.
to make out with you right now.
Come on, get on it, bud. Get
But
on
I
it.
do like you.
Get on it, bud.
You've caught me like 3 or 4 times off guard with really good jokes on this episode. So like that, I enjoy this kind of conversation. The violin, they would be mad at me if I said it that way. I learned to play the fiddle. I was taught.
You're a fiddler.
But I was taught by a Korean kid who was like 12 with 4 master's degrees. He was like a brilliant, like, he was like always making some little noise. Like he was always humming. And like we talked about, if you wanted to talk about, he loved to talk about food and music and stuff. And I'm a music dork. Like I'm very involved, love music. I love music very much. Like I used to do security for a lot of big bands and cool bands and stuff. And I just got really into a bunch of different kinds of music. And so this little Korean kid that taught me worked with me, I don't know, for like 3 months. And he would say, I play the violin, but I'm teaching you to play the fiddle.
That's so funny. He's looking down on you.
Actually, he told me he wished his dad would let him play the fiddle.
That's awesome. That's awesome. It was a great video. I was just like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah, that was fun. The guys over at Rough House Productions, they're very thorough. And so I was going to play a little music for the show. And they're like, you're not just going to go up there and do it. You're going to learn how to play this portion of the song. So I learned, I can't play anything. But there is a portion of that song I'm singing that I can play, like I can play that part. Perfect.
That's funny. Emmy, put this in that video. Show the video right there.
Look at him now, the sinner's about to cry. Times are coming when the sinner must die. Come, little sinner, better say your goodbyes. Times are coming when the sinner must die.
I like it. We've learned a lot this episode.
I feel like we're gonna get in trouble. I love the conversation, but I feel like it's like
no, you don't. I want to be honest with people. We don't give a fuck about your opinion. We just had the discussion. And if any of this,
I don't care, brother. You and me will hold hands and walk into the fire.
Perfect, because it's here's the deal. We just talked. You know, like we're just humans. We just talked. You know, you are a good person. I am a good person. We are just trying to make better lives for our families. We're not trying to do it stepping on top of people to get to the next thing.
Right.
And that's the kind of person you want to be. So if you think that we shouldn't have that conversation or we shouldn't be those people, you probably don't belong in our lives, right? We hope you laugh. We hope you enjoy Robert picking up big fucking massive things and putting them over there and then grabbing a guy's arm and twisting it off his body all while playing violin. But it's stupid. What's it? Good. And we're gonna be back. We're gonna have guests soon, and we're not always gonna agree with our guests. Both of us might not agree with our guests. One of us might agree with our guests. One of us might fall asleep during our guests. But we hope.
All right, if you could get anybody, there's 3 people. What 3 guests would you get?
What 3 guests would I want? I'd want Connor McDavid, the hockey player. I want Danny McBride, and I would want Neil deGrasse.
Nice.
Yeah,
That'd be cool. Those
yours?
would all be good. Danny McBride would be a good one for sure. That'd be awesome. Let's dig up Sinead O'Connor and get her on.
It's got to be somebody that's alive. You can't.
You wanted an actual answer. I would pick an artist. I would look at, like, right now. I'm listening to a lot of Pepper, which is a Hawaiian reggae band that I used to work with 20 years ago. So I'd probably pick one of them, or I would pick a musical artist, and anything not political. I'd go with movie stars. I listen to a lot of actors' podcasts. I listen to, like, Armchair Expert. I listen to Smartless. I listen to a lot of acting. I listen to Joe Barenthal. I'm a dork when it comes to that stuff, and I don't assume anybody else wants to hear it. So, like, I probably wouldn't go with an actor unless it's like a big comedy actor like Danny. But, like, that's just because I'm not trying to be. If I was being totally selfish, Willem Dafoe. I'd go get Willem Dafoe, and we would talk about the most boring acting choices for 2 hours. Like, that's what I would do.
But this is a podcast that I want. You don't have to tune in every week. Like, if there's something you don't enjoy, we'll see you next week. That's okay. There's so many podcasts out here. We love it if you listen, but we want to find people that interest us, and hopefully they interest you. So we're sorry about the political talk. It'll never happen again.
Hold on, both of us get our faces in there. We're sorry.
I'm sorry about talking about politics.
We didn't mean to do it.
Apologize.
Sorry.
See you next week.